There are these videos where the parents are trying to solve a math problem with their child, something like, there are 4 oranges, Johnny takes one away, how many oranges are left? And even with the visual representation, the child still answers something outrageous, like, there are 4 oranges left. And the parents are baffled, often frustrated, because quite literally there's a visual representation of how many oranges are left. So why can't these children answer a seemingly simple problem? Well, in my experience with our homeschool, it's usually because they're stressed. Today, I want to share how stress impacted our homeschool and what we do now to minimize it. As always, take what works, leave what doesn't, or share your experience in the comments for another parent to use as a resource. When we first started homeschooling, I was often left wondering, why did it feel like my child's brain was short-circuiting over seemingly simple concepts? And the answer was, he was stressed. So to understand this a little bit more, I had to learn about the different parts of the brain. First, we have the prefrontal cortex. This is our thinking brain. So planning, decision-making, and the ability to solve complex problems, like when they are trying to complete a math worksheet. Then we have the amygdala. This is deep within the temporal lobes. Some of the main jobs are to process emotions and to trigger the fight or flight response. So when we were homeschooling and tension started to rise over a worksheet, my child was feeling shame, disappointment, embarrassment, any number of negative emotions because he wanted to get that problem right, especially with me staring at him frustrated. And what's happening in that situation is the prefrontal cortex starts to shut down and the amygdala starts popping off. His amygdala was in control, he was in fight or flight, and he was quite literally too stressed to think. Now, there are positive stress. These are things that help you grow, like a violin recital or talking to someone new. These are positive stress, but this wasn't it. This was the type of stress that was going to lead to anxiety, self-doubt, lack of motivation, and this is not what we wanted to homeschool for. And this is my experience. This is me with my oldest child, my guinea pig of homeschool, where I was trying to figure it out, where I still thought to measure his progress against not his improvements, but where I thought he should be at that age. And these questions of, why doesn't he know how to read yet? Why doesn't he understand that math problem? We went over it twice already. It's so simple. When really it's just a matter of development. His brain probably wasn't ready yet, and that's okay. It takes time. It's no fault of the child. And sadly, in the beginning, a lot of our homeschool days were filled with tears from him and myself, but I knew this wasn't sustainable, and I knew that we had to move on from this. So how did we fix this? The first thing I had to do was deal with my own fears and insecurities and let go of this idea of the grade being the value. We had to adapt a learning mindset for our homeschool, which is the concept that the brain can continue to grow. It's not fixed. And I had to give my son space to learn, to make mistakes, to have questions while still feeling supported by me, because his stress was just mirroring my stress and growing. And then I had to let go of the ideals of education standards and grades, and then instead prioritize learning. And I asked myself, if my son didn't perform at grade level, if he didn't make the grade, will he still have a shot at a successful future? And the answer is yes, he will be okay. Next, I had to repair the relationship with my son. I apologized for making him think that it was not okay to get something wrong. And then I had to express that getting a problem wrong is not a measure of your self-worth. It's part of the learning process. And I had to repeat this often because it took time for his brain to learn that me getting a problem wrong isn't a fight or flight response. It's simply just learning. Because I want my kids to take risks. I want them to adapt or pivot if something isn't working out. I don't want them to fear learning because they're not getting everything perfect. Lastly, I had to pay more attention to when my son's brain was going offline and when he was no longer able to learn. Now we take a break, we get our bodies moving, and we discuss that if the material's not clicking, it's okay. That's quite literally the learning process. We want to challenge our brain with new information and help it grow. And that's not something that we should be scared or stressed about. Now, before I wrap it up, I am all about books when it comes to learning. So here is a list of books to read to your child about stress. My favorite is What Do You Do with a Problem? It's one of those books that feels like it was also written for the parent. So go check it out. It might pique your interest. And remember that the relationship with your child is more important than the worksheet. So keep learning, keep exploring, and stay rooted.